In this video, we're going to be going over the latest Stadia news of the day, of which there's plenty. From major changes happening to the This Week on Stadia blog post to older games getting some Stadia exclusive features patched in. We're gonna cover it all, but let's start with a quick update on two games. First up is Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, a title that was announced for Stadia not too long ago is now available for purchase and play. I know this title specifically has been requested from a few of you within the virtual cloud community, so I'm really happy that it's finally here for you. I might end up checking it out myself as I am a pretty big Dragon Ball fan and I would love to support more anime style games to arrive on Stadia. The second quick update revolves around Outriders, and that's because the game has finally been patched and been brought up to par with other platforms. Or at least almost up to par. The majority of the patches and fixes are there, but crossplay support will be arriving in November. Speaking for myself here, I'm happy that any of you who enjoy Outriders are going to be able to enjoy this new patch, but I just personally think it's too little too late. It's legitimately been around 200 days, and I think at this point, myself and many others out there are moving on to newer games. With those two quick game updates out of the way, let's move on to a post that comes directly from Stadia. The statement was made on Reddit, and it highlights all the changes happening to the This Week on Stadia blog posts as they are moving to a bi-weekly cadence. It basically means that we're going to be getting a This Week on Stadia blog post every other week rather than every single week. The post goes on to say that during no blog weeks, they will be using that time to focus more on interacting with the Stadia community, and that while they do understand this new schedule may be disappointing to some, they do appreciate those riding the wave through it. This change won't be affecting any other blog posts like game announcements, developer Q&As, Stadia save points, or updates to the Stadia dev blog. I have little to no doubt that this is definitely going to become a point of discussion within the community, and I just want to share my quick initial thoughts on what they're doing here. I'm just going to come out and say it. I'm not really happy about this, even though I do understand why they're doing it. Just to keep it real, I think it's fair to say that some of the latest This Week on Stadia blog posts have been pretty lackluster. And whenever that's the case, a lot of people within the Stadia community don't really react too well to it. This change will certainly help make each blog post more plentiful with content and coverage on games that people may be interested in. But now let me explain why I'm not too big a fan of this change. First up is the timing. We're in the middle of the holiday season, and I think this is when gaming is at its peak popularity. Most people are looking for new games to play, and big games are releasing. This announcement just makes it sound like there's not really that much coming up in the next few months. And while that may or may not be true, it's certainly the way that a lot of people in the community are going to take it, and I can't blame them for doing so. And this kind of leads into reason number two. Right now, I think the Stadia community really needs some reassurance. A lot of the big games have now come out or are coming out real soon, and we really don't know what to expect outside past that unless it's a future Ubisoft title. And even if you like their games, personally I do, that's simply not enough to carry a platform. I've been a huge advocate of the idea that Stadia really needs to hold some other sort of Stadia Connect-like event just to announce some new games that will be heading this way. This alone would go a long way for reassuring customers that Stadia is in it for the long haul, not to mention it would cause some much needed excitement within the community. This announcement in turn is kind of having the opposite effect, but at least they seem to be fully aware that this was going to be the case. I think it's fair to say that we can only hope that they have some sort of plan in place to make up for this, especially if they knew the disappointment was coming. Otherwise, this change is just going to be used to fan the flames of those who think Google is winding down Stadia slowly. I have a lot more to say on this topic, but I'll save that for another date if it needs to be said at all. Besides that, we also did get confirmation that there will be a This Week on Stadia blog post this week, but it is delayed until later in the week. But now let's move on to the last news story of the day, which funny enough is another blog post from Stadia. This time focusing on Stadia exclusive features within games. Most of it is pretty much going over stuff like state share, crowd play, and the likes, and it's going over games we already know that have it. But this blog post revealed that two other games will be getting some Stadia exclusive features as well. The first of which is Doom Eternal. You can now compete with your friends using state share to see who reigns supreme in Horde mode. It's a brand new mode that just came to the game not too long ago, and I have to say it's a pretty good fit. Funny enough, the team over at id Software also captured a game state to see if you can beat their score. I'll have a link to it down in the description below if you want to give it a shot. They ended up scoring 6,950 on round 1 of the cultist base map armed only with a combat shotgun. In addition to Doom Eternal, crowd play is now coming to Serious Sam 4. With this feature enabled, any player doing a live stream of Serious Sam 4 directly to YouTube will be able to start a lobby screen and have viewers join in on the fun. As always, it's important to remember that viewers who want to join in will need to own the game and have a Stadia account set up. Lastly, we also got the confirmation that Stadia title Hello Engineer will be leaving early access and fully launches on the Stadia store today. and that title already features state share support for you to share your great ideas. All in all, a pretty cool update, nothing too big, but it is exciting to see. And I say that because it is kind of unexpected to see Doom Eternal get some sort of Stadia exclusive feature this late down the road. Personally, I hope this means that Google is reaching out to developers they've already worked with to continue support, but also other deals in the background. Either way, that wraps up all the Stadia news of the day. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful at all, consider hitting that like button as it really does help the channel out. And if you're wanting more content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell as well. No end of video message today, I just want to give you all my thanks for watching, and as always, this has been the Virtual Cloud, giving you the latest and greatest on everything cloud gaming and VR related, and until next time, I'll catch you in the clouds.